Brian Albert, the owner of the dog, the owner of the house.
You were at the bar.
Yes.
There were several other folks at the bar, correct?
Several people, yes.
Chris Albert, your brother.
Yes.
Tim Daly.
Yes.
Julie Albert was there.
Yes.
Jen McCabe was there.
Yes.
Matt McCabe was there.
Yes.
John O'Keefe was there.
Yes, he was.
And Karen Reed was there, correct?
Yes, she was.
I said spoke with Mr. Lally. Since I didn't say prep with Mr. Lally, your answer was no, I didn't speak with him. I just prepped with him.
Yes.
Did the two of you discuss Karen Reed, my client?
No.
Did he mention Karen Reed or the topic of Karen Reed?
No, never.
Did he mention the fact that he had been texting and flirting with Karen Reed 2 weeks prior?
No.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law. Folks, today we are going to do something very, very special, something that we have not done on this channel yet, something that we are going to do today, and that is we are going to go back in time to trial number 1, since he, at least as of the recording of this video, at the end of May, beginning of June 2025, has not testified in trial number 2. Now, of course, he did testify in trial number 1. That's why we have this footage to begin with. And it is a long one, folks. This is going to be a series of the real killer, Brian Albert. The owner of the dog, the owner of the house, the owner of neither now, sold the house, killed the dog, gave her away for adoption is what I mean. Brian Albert, folks. The suspicion is that Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and Colin Albert are the 3 of the 5 DNA of the men that were found in John O'Keefe's shoe. John O'Keefe being the 4th one, and of course another mystery 5th individual. Matthew McCabe, maybe, who knows? No female DNA, all male. So without further ado, I bring you the cross-examination of Brian Albert by Alan Jackson in Karen Reed trial number 1 in May of 2024. Let's go.
Mr. Albert, this process is not the first time you've testified in a court of law, is it?
No.
In fact, you were a police officer for either just under or just over 30 years, is that right?
Yes.
During that time, how many times would you say that you testified in a court of law in any capacity?
I would say 100, perhaps.
So you consider yourself to be an experienced witness?
In what aspect? In as far as being a witness as a police officer?
You've experienced testifying in a courtroom?
Yes.
Okay, so you understand the oath?
Yes.
You understand the gravity of perjury?
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke to Mr. Lally before Friday when you began testifying?
Before Friday, the last time I spoke to Mr. Lally was, I believe, on a conference call around the time of my grand jury testimony.
Which would have been 2022?
Yes.
April of 2022?
Yes.
So you've not spoken with Mr. Lally since that time?
I don't remember speaking with Mr. Lally since that time, no.
What about anybody else from the district attorney's office?
No.
Have you gone over the facts, or what you believe to be the facts of your testimony with anybody before you testified on Friday, not including any lawyer that you may have?
No.
Did you discuss any questions that you may be asked on direct examination or questions that you may be posed on cross-examination with any member of the district attorney's office?
No.
Were you told about any exhibits or documents that you might be shown?
Just in the prep, I believe I was shown a video of the waterfall bar.
And that was back in April of 2022?
No, that was for the prep for this trial.
With whom did you prep for this trial?
Mr. Lally.
I'm confused. I thought you said you had not spoken with Mr. Lally since April of 2022.
That's what I thought.
Except for the prep for this trial, I had not.
Okay, that was my question, Mr. Albert.
Okay, I misunderstood your question. I apologize.
Did you prep for this trial with Mr. Lally?
Yes.
When?
Approximately a few weeks ago.
Okay. Mr. Albert, about 45 seconds ago, I asked you, have you spoken with Mr. Lally before your testimony in this process, this proceeding? And your answer was, no, I have not. Did you not understand my question?
I did not.
What was confusing about it?
I was expecting you to ask if I had prepped with Mr. Lally. I didn't hear prep with Mr. Lally, so I didn't know what you were referring to.
So when I said spoke with Mr. Lally, since I didn't say prep with Mr. Lally, your answer was no, I didn't speak with him. I just prepped with him.
Yes.
What's the difference between speaking and prepping?
No, there is no difference. I just misunderstood your question, that's all.
Tell me about that prep with Mr. Lally.
Sure. I prepped with Mr. Lally about this trial with Mr. Lally, my attorney.
Where did that preparation take place?
The preparation took place, I believe, I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. I actually don't recall where it was.
Could it have been at the DA's office?
Yes, but it wasn't at the DA's office. No, I believe it was somewhere else, but I can't remember if it was here or the DA's office.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I also asked you a couple minutes ago, did you review any documents or any evidence in preparation for your testimony? And to that question, you also answered no.
Well, I said I reviewed the video.
Well, now you're saying you reviewed a video, but when I
Yes.
asked you, did you see any evidence or documents, anything in preparation for your testimony? You said no, correct?
No, I believe I said I saw a video.
Did you misunderstand my question when I asked it the first time as well?
No.
Okay. I'm going to try to be clearer with my questions.
Okay.
Let me try it again. What,
Unbelievable.
if anything, have you reviewed in anticipation of your testimony in this trial?
So I reviewed a video of the waterfall.
Anything else?
I reviewed my transcript from the grand jury.
So you have reviewed your prior testimony,
My transcript of the grand jury, yes.
which is prior testimony, correct?
Yes.
When did you do that?
I did that during the prep.
What part of the waterfall video did Mr. Lally show you?
It was a small snippet of the video, and just one of the 20 seconds of video during that night.
Which part? There's a lot of video there. Which part, if you can tell us, which part did you review with Mr. Lally?
It just showed the waterfall, it showed patrons, it showed myself and the other people I was with.
What were you doing in that 20-second snippet of that video?
I believe in one portion of it, I was fooling around with Brian Higgins.
Fooling around?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means we were just fooling around. That's it.
Fooling around like, I don't know, playing arm wrestling?
No, I don't think we were arm wrestling. I think we were just pushing each other, fooling around.
Oh, so
Playing grab ass.
I don't think I would call it play fighting. No, I was just.
you remember seeing the part of the video where you took a fighting stance, sort of like this?
I actually don't remember that part. No.
No. You remember
Of course
part
you
of the video where Brian Higgins took a fighting stance, sort of like this?
Maybe yes.
Two of you approached one another?
I don't think I saw that whole video. No.
Practicing fighting techniques?
I wouldn't call it that.
No,
No.
you can have that. I'm sorry, what was your answer to that, Mr. Albert?
No.
So what you reviewed with Mr. Lally was the portion of the video where you and Mr. Higgins were somehow fooling around, and, well, how would you describe it?
And why does he keep referring to it as fooling around? And far be it from me, please let me know in the comments below as you're scrolling down. Of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because you want to get a lot more of this amazing content. Fooling around, I always interpret it to be of an intimate nature, like, oh, you know, the wifey and I were fooling around or whatever. My girlfriend and I were fooling around. You don't fool around with a buddy. I mean, I guess you could, but it just sounds really weird. Am I the only one who finds it just weird that he says that? Let me know in the comments below. Fooling around. As disturbing as my next phrase may sound, it's 100% true. I'd rather he just followed Matthew McCabe's, we're just playing grab ass. You know, honestly, as stupid as it is, it's better than fooling around. Because fooling around sounds like you guys may have been touching each other's junk. You know what I'm saying?
If it's not fighting techniques, how would you describe it?
Just joking, being silly, just fooling around.
Okay. Doing what physically?
Doing, if you rephrase,
Physically. I mean, you could joke with words.
right.
Were you just joking with words, like a stand-up comedian, or were you doing something physically?
No, I think we were pushing each other, fooling around, joking.
Okay. Did you ever show him how to throw a punch?
Did I what?
Did you show him how you would throw a punch?
I don't remember that, no.
Did you squat down, show him how you want to get low? when you're either aggressive or defending an aggression?
I don't remember that exact pose, no.
Did he walk over to you and grab you and act like he was going to drive a knee into your stomach?
I'm not sure.
At some point, did you flip him around and grab him in a wrestling hold?
I may have, I just don't remember it exactly.
Do these things sound familiar when you reviewed, as to your review of the video that you saw?
I am fascinated that he just very freshly, very recently saw the video and yet remembers nothing about it, except all the things that help him and nothing that hurts him.
With Mr. Lally?
No, I didn't see all those on the video, Mr. Lally.
Liar.
Did
Liar.
you discuss with Mr. Lally the questions that you might be asked by him on direct examination? Did he go through, here are the topics of conversation that we're going to have?
No, not like that.
Did he go over with you what he believed the topics of conversation might be on cross-examination by either myself or Mr. Unetti?
I believe so, yes.
What did he tell you you might be asked?
I don't remember exactly what he told me. He said we could be asked about the night at the waterfall. We could be asked about back at the house, things like that.
Anything else?
Not that I can remember.
Is there anything, given your conversation with Mr. Lally, is there anything that you want to change about the testimony that you previously gave under oath in April of 2022?
No,
The fact that you've now reviewed that testimony?
no,
You stick by that testimony?
yes.
Okay. Have you watched any of these proceedings on any platform before your testimony?
No,
You've never tuned in to anything that's live streaming, any of the media coverage?
no,
I think he's lying.
You're aware that your wife testified before you?
yes,
Did you I don't want to know what the words were. Did you discuss her testimony with her before you testified?
no,
So she came home after testifying in this trial, and you two never brought it up.
no. I just asked her how she was doing, and that was it.
Mr. Albert, are you close friends with Brian Higgins?
I wouldn't describe it as close friends, no.
He's a fellow law enforcement officer, correct?
Yes,
Works for the ATF,
he does.
the Department of, or the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, correct?
Yes.
How long have you known Mr. Higgins?
I think I first met Mr. Higgins about 15 years ago.
How did you meet him?
It was a professional, something at work. We may have worked together. I think at the time he was a Cambridge arson squad member. And I think he came into the city of Boston to do something for work.
So you've known him for 15 years, and you were with him on January 28th, 2022, correct?
Yes,
And he's the person that you were, quote, joking and fooling around with, right?
yes,
You had a long road trip with Mr. Higgins on January 28th, 2022, didn't you?
what's the question?
You had a long road trip with Mr. Higgins on January 28th, 2022, correct?
We drove from New York to Boston.
So the
yes.
answer is yes.
It's a pretty good drive, you'd say.
Yes,
Consider that a road trip?
yes.
How long?
I don't know if it was probably somewhere around 4 hours, maybe.
Once you got back from New York to back up to Boston, the
Yes.
Boston area, the two of you stopped at a location, correct?
Yes,
What was the location?
the hillside.
And what did you two do at the hillside?
We went into the hillside, had a drink, talked, and I think Brian may have ordered food.
So once you got back from that relatively long road trip, that 4 hour long road trip, I apologize, you stopped at a bar and started drinking, correct?
Yes,
Did you have anything to eat at the hillside?
I did not.
But Brian did. Brian Higgins did.
I left prior to Brian Higgins eating.
During the course of that road trip, or at the hillside, did the two of you discuss Karen Reed, my client?
No,
Did her name ever come up?
no,
Without telling me anything that he may have actually said, did he mention Karen Reed or the topic of Karen Reed?
no, never.
Did he mention the fact that he had been texting and flirting with Karen Reed 2 weeks prior?
No,
So that subject, according to you, was never addressed or broached by Mr. Higgins or you
In 4 hours?
during that entire day?
In 4 hours.
After you arrived at the waterfall, John O'Keefe arrived subsequent thereto, right?
Yes.
How long after?
Approximately 45 minutes, maybe?
And Karen Reed was with him, is that right?
Yes.
Brian Higgins was standing right next to you when she came in along with John O'Keefe, correct?
I'm not sure where people were standing when they arrived.
Well, you remember you saw video, correct?
I don't believe there's any, I saw video of them walking into Waterfall now.
Fair enough, but you saw at least a clip, according to you, you saw a clip of that video of you at the waterfall, correct?
Yes.
You were situated at a high top table, right?
Yes.
Your back is sort of to the camera, is that right?
I'm not sure of the camera angles. The video that I saw, I was at the high top table, but I'm not sure of all the camera angles of the waterfall.
Brian Higgins is the guy with the sweatshirt with maybe a Harley Davidson emblem on the back or something?
I'm not sure what he wore that night. I'm sure he had a sweatshirt on, but I don't know what the emblem was.
Okay, he was standing right next to you in the video clip that you saw.
Yes.
Okay. In other words, that was the video where he was standing right next to you, and you two turn to each other and start this play fighting thing.
Yes.
So if it's that time or sometime around there at the high top, you were in proximity of Brian Higgins when Karen Reed and John O'Keefe came into the bar, correct?
I just don't recall the timing of when they came into the bar.
All right, Mr. Albert, did Mr. Higgins say anything to you at that time about John O'Keefe arriving with Karen Reed at his side?
No.
Did Mr. Higgins say anything to you about being upset that Karen Reed had shown up with John O'Keefe?
No.
Describe your relationship with John O'Keefe, if you would.
So I didn't know John that well. I had only met him a few times. But every time I met him, it was cordial, pleasant. And I would consider him to be a co-worker, even though I never really worked with him directly. He seemed like a nice guy. I knew his whole story about the fact that he had taken his niece and nephew after a tragedy in the family. And I had an unbelievable amount of respect for him doing that. But I can't say that we were good friends because I didn't really know him all that well.
You were far better friends with Brian Higgins than you were with John O'Keefe. That's fair to say.
Yes.
On Friday, you were asked whether or not you knew my client, Karen Reed, correct? This meeting a couple days ago, during your direct examination.
I believe so, yes.
You were also asked the same series of questions at another grand jury not involving the Commonwealth. You remember that in June of 2023?
Yes.
I want to be clear about this other hearing. That was a non-Commonwealth hearing in front of a grand jury, correct?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Lally and his colleagues were not there, is that right?
Yes.
I was not there, Mr. Yannetti was not there,
Yes.
or Miss Little.
Right.
Okay. At that June 2023, and I'm going to talk about a couple of dates, so I don't want to be confusing. At that June 2023 non-Commonwealth hearing, you were asked some questions about whether or not you knew Karen Reed before January 28th, 2022.
I believe
That night in question.
I believe so, yes.
And you testified, before you testified, you were sworn an oath.
Yes.
Same oath that you swore in this trial, correct?
Yes.
You swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And you knew that you were testifying under penalty of perjury in that hearing as well, correct?
Yes.
And you testified at that non-Commonwealth grand jury that you, quote, believe Karen was with John the night he came into Hillside. A female that looked similar to Karen from the waterfall came in with him on that night, and I assume that was her, but I can't say for sure, end quote. That was your testimony before that grand jury.
Yes.
But you were also asked a similar question in April of 2022 by Mr. Lally at his grand jury. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh,
Let's
inconsistency.
start at the beginning. Before you testified in the April 2022 grand jury, more than a year earlier, and just 3 months after this incident, you were sworn an oath, correct?
Yes.
The same oath that you took in June of 2023, right?
Yes.
And the same oath you took on Friday.
Yes.
Isn't it true that you were asked the question whether or not you knew Karen Reed on January 28th, 2022, and you testified, quote, "I've never met or seen her before," end quote.
No, I don't recall that.
Didn't you indicate that you just testified, that you reviewed your grand jury testimony in anticipation for this trial?
Yes,
You read the whole thing,
yes,
and you don't recall making that statement?
no.
What?
May I approach you on it?
Yeah,
Yes, and I'll see counsel at sidebar when you
this
leave that with the witness.
makes absolutely no sense. How could he go from "I've never met her before in my life" and then a year later,
May
"Yes, I
approach
know
you?
who she is," but it kind of
Mr.
looked
Albert,
like
you had
her.
an opportunity to review that?
I have. Thank you.
That's completely bonkers.
Does that refresh your recollection as to what you said before the grand jury in April of 2022?
Yes, but you didn't read the whole quote though.
Right. The whole quote is the following. Question, so the female you had never met before, is that fair to say? Answer, no, I've never met her or seen her before, period. Maybe once, but I don't think I've ever had a conversation with her. That was the entire quote, correct?
That's the entire quote. Yes, that's not what you read earlier, but yes.
Well, what I read earlier was, I've never met or seen her before. Those words came out of your mouth, correct?
That's not my whole sentence.
That
No.
doesn't matter.
You said, I've never met or seen her before, and then you said, maybe once, but I've never had a conversation with her, I don't think.
Right. That's my sentence.
Okay, so which is it, Mr. Albert? What were you saying? Were you saying you met her and had a conversation with her? Or were you saying, I've never met or seen her before? Which one of those two things was true?
I was saying that I met her maybe once.
Actually, what you said was, I've never met her or seen her before. Your words, not my words.
He's exhausting.
Sir. Isn't that right?
No, because in the next sentence I say I met her maybe once.
So you literally changed your testimony within your own testimony.
Yes,
Objection.
but he did.
Can you answer that, Mr. Albert?
I believe I qualified my first sentence with his second sentence.
So what changed between the first sentence, where you indicated unequivocally, I've never met or seen her before, and the second sentence when you said, maybe once?
I'm not sure what I was thinking at the time that I said that.
Isn't it true, Mr. Albert, not only had you met Miss Reed, but you had spent several hours with Karen Reed and John O'Keefe 6 days before this incident. Isn't that true?
No.
What?
In fact, on January 22nd, 2022, 6 days before January 28th, you socialized with Karen Reed at the Hillside Bar for several hours, didn't you?
Oh, wow.
I was at the Hillside Bar the week prior, yes.
It was a Saturday night, correct?
Yes.
You were at the bar.
Yes.
There were several other folks at the bar, correct?
Several people, yes.
That included Chris Albert, your brother,
Yes.
a guy named Tim Daly,
Yes.
D-A-I-L-Y, is that right?
I'm not sure how to spell his last name.
Julie Albert was there.
Yes.
Jen McCabe was there.
Yes.
Matt McCabe was there.
Yes.
John O'Keefe was there.
Yes, he was.
And Karen Reed was there, correct?
Yes, she was.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Wow. Wow, folks, you cannot make this stuff up. This is incredible. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. We are going to continue this in the next video. You guys buckle up. It's only going to get worse, which means it's going to get better. Bye, everybody.